Hi, this is Karen Yu. I'm one of the engineers who worked on designing the Platinum controller, and I'm here today to show you how quick and easy it is to set up a Platinum controller using our Platinum Monitor software. I have the Platinum connected to the Platinum Monitor right now, and it is set as factory defaults. So this is the screen that you would first see when you're connecting to the Platinum. Platinum is connected to a demonstration plant, which is a thermoelectric cooler, which will do both heating and cooling. It also demonstrates the remote set point functionality and the digital input functionality, and I'll be going through how to set all those up today. The first thing that you're going to want to do once you have your new Platinum is to install it in the application that you want. Hook up all the inputs and outputs, and then you can go to the Platinum Monitor and configure the Platinum for all of this. First, I'm going to look at the process input. In this case, the default is thermocouple K-type, and that's what I'm going to use. But you can select any process, RTD, thermistor, or different thermocouple you want from the screen. I'm going to go ahead and set up my display next. I'm going to change the units to Celsius, and I press Update to update the configuration. I'm going to take a look at the outputs next. I'm going to use output 2 and output 3 in this application. For output 2, I'm going to set it to PID so that we can do ramp and soak control. I'm going to change my cycle time to 1/10 of a second for faster control. This is it for output 2, but we will set more parameters when I go to the PID screen later. In output 3, I'm going to set this to on-off. I'm going to put the action as direct, since this output is going to control cooling, and I'm going to put my deadband down to 0 here. I update both of these, and those settings will be saved into the Platinum. After setting up the outputs, I'm going to set up my set point. In this case, I'm going to have set point 1 be an absolute set point of 50 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to hit update. You can see that set point 1 is updated on the main Platinum controller screen. Once you have your input, your output, and your set point set up, you can go to PID control. In the PID control, you have several options. Your bounds will set your minimum PID percent and your maximum PID percent. I'm going to leave these at the default. Your action controls whether you'll be heating or cooling. In this case, I have reverse, and I'm going to be using this for heating. I'm going to leave the adaptive control enabled, and then I'm going to do an auto tune. Before you do an auto tune, it is essential that you make sure that all your outputs are hooked up correctly, your input is hooked up correctly, and you have a set point. You want your controller to be in idle or stop mode, and you want your temperature to be stable. If the temperature is moving rapidly, your auto tune will fail and give you a warning. If your set point is too close to your current temperature, it will also fail and give you a warning. Be sure to leave enough headroom from your current temperature to your set point so that the proper auto tune can be achieved. To start the auto tune, just press the auto tune button here. You'll see on the Platinum controller that the display is flashing, although you can't see it in the Platinum Monitor software. The controller will wait 10 seconds to make sure that the current temperature is stable and then begin its auto tune. Here we can see the temperature is starting to move as the auto tune is starting. The auto tune is going to move the temperature up a certain percentage until it has enough data to control the PID loop. Alright, our auto tune is done now. The Platinum controller will show done, and if we hit refresh here, you can see the PID values have been updated. Now our controller is all ready to run. So I can hit the run button and it will start to heat up to the set point. If I hit the graphing tool, you can see certain parameters. You can see our current process value in blue, and you can see our current set point of 50 degrees Celsius. Now the controller is going to try and heat up to 50 degrees Celsius and then maintain itself there. This is the most basic type of control that you can achieve. I'm going to leave the graphing running in the background and show you some more advanced options. If we go into the auxiliary input, this is our remote set point control. I can set these parameters up and actually do a remote set point. On my current Platinum, I have the remote set point configured so that it reads a potentiometer between 4 and 20 milliamps. So here you can see my reading is 0 degrees Celsius for 4 milliamps and 100 degrees Celsius for 20 milliamps. I'm going to adjust these slightly. I've adjusted these so that it fits with the temperature control that I currently have. Now if I go into set point, I can change the set point 1 from absolute to remote and press update. Now you can see my set point has changed. I can adjust the potentiometer and you can see that the set point changes according to where the potentiometer is. This allows for easy control of the unit without having to go through any menus or hooking up any additional equipment. The remote set point can also be used for cascaded control and other advanced options with more than one controller. Next, I'm going to show you how to set up a simple ramp and soak control. First, I'm going to stop my unit and then go into the ramp soak screen. In the upper left, you can see the ramp and soak control. I'm going to set my ramp and soak control to yes, and I'm going to keep my start profile as 1. In the profile tracking mode, I'm going to set this to soak. There's 3 different tracking modes: ramp, soak, and cycle. In ramp tracking, the unit will try and track the ramp time as closely as possible, and if it cannot meet the set ramp time, it will throw a warning. Soak control is less stringent. It will still try and track the ramp time as closely as possible, but if it can't meet it, it will continue on with the cycle and track soak time. Cycle control is similar to soak, but instead of keeping a constant soak time, it will keep a constant cycle time. If you can't ramp up to the set point in the amount of time you've specified, it will shorten the soak cycle instead of lengthening the ramp cycle. I'm going to set 2 segments in my profile so I can do a heat and cool. And the end of profile action I'm going to select is link. Linking profiles is a very powerful option. It means that you can have many more than 8 segments and you can create complex programs. In this case, I'm going to link to segment 1. What will happen at the end of my profile, I will go back to the beginning of segment 1 in profile 1. Essentially, I'm going to create a loop so that I will heat and cool over and over again. I'm going to update this. Down at the bottom left, there's the profile select. This is the profile that's going to be currently displayed on the right side of the screen here. I'm going to keep profile 1 and now set up my profile. I'm going to set a heating ramp time of 2 minutes, and I'm going to enable the ramp. I'm going to set a set point of 40 degrees Celsius and a soak time of 10 seconds and enable my soak. press Update to update the profile in your controller. For segment 2, I'm going to do something similar with a soak time of 2. For segment 2, I'm going to do something similar with a ramp time of 2, enable my ramp, a set point of 10 degrees Celsius, and a soak time of 10 seconds. Enable the soak and press Update. Now that my profile is set up, I can close this and I can hit Run. This will begin running my profile. Going back to my graphing screen here, you can see on the right side I have my set point. I can zoom in on my current segment a little bit. I can zoom in on my current segment a little bit, and you can see the orange line is again our set point, but there's a new lighter line, which is the process set point. This is the ramp that we're trying to execute. This is the value that the ramp will end at. The blue line is again our process value, and down in the second chart you can see our PID control. This represents how much our PID cycle is currently at. I'm going to minimize this and leave it running in the background. Minimizing the graph and going back to our main screen, you can see the number of seconds left in the current cycle and the current cycle you're at. In 10 seconds we will be approaching the soak segment, Now we're in the soak segment. This is a short segment, and then we will switch to ramp 2. Here we're in ramp 2, and we're going to ramp for 2 minutes, and this is going to be cooling down now. Now we're approaching our last soak segment. And here we're soaking for 10 seconds. Going back to the graph, I can zoom back out, and you can see our ramp and soak segments here. Next, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the digital input to trigger ramp and soak. I'm going to put my unit in wait mode, go into ramp and soak, and select Yes Remote. Update it, and close. What this does is it will delay the ramp and soak until I press the digital input. Make sure your unit is in the wait mode so that it's waiting for the digital input. Apply your digital input signal. You can see that the ramp and soak is started and the digital input light is on. This will execute our ramp and soak just as before, except we can use an external trigger to start the ramp and soak instead of going through the front panel or through the Platinum configurator software. For further information, please visit our website.